What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. We actually had this news, I believe, after the maintenance period ended, but I just never got around to making a video about it, which is the brand new medal exchange. So in this video today, I'm going to be going through all of them, giving my thoughts and opinions on each of the characters in general, and then just determining whether or not these characters are actually worth picking up, because, you know, not everyone is going to have the capability of pulling on every single Sugo Fest and storing up a bunch of medals, and I mean, for players like myself that already have a lot of the characters and doing continuous amount of pulls, you're going to stock up a lot of these medals. I mean, still to this day, I really want to see them introduce items or like limited time characters that are only purchasable with medals in the medal exchange. That would be awesome to actually make people that actually have a lot of these medals to actually start using them, because at the moment, a lot of people that I talk to have just been stocking up. Like at the moment, I think I've got over 2,500 medals, and I'm just like, I don't know what to use them on. Like, I literally have no use for these at all. So I'm really hoping that in the future they can introduce some really cool mechanics for that. But let's get back to this. Let's talk about the brand new one that's going to be coming. I believe it's the 1st of May, and it lasts throughout the entire duration of that month. So in this medal exchange, for 400 medals, we have Legend Chopper, we have Komurasaki, V3 Akainu, and also Trafalgar Law. I believe these two specifically were here last month as well, or they're here like currently during this month as of me recording this video. So, I mean, goes without saying that if you don't have V3 Law, you should be purchasing him. He is a ridiculously powerful unit, works well with so many of the other powerful legends in the game. I would highly advise to pick him up if you guys haven't got him yet. Definitely the best choice here, that is for damn sure. We got V3 Akainu, he's okay. I don't know if I would really go out of my way to use 400 medals specifically for that unit. He is really good though. He's an attack booster and a conditional booster. He gets rid of barriers. He's a strength X quick captain. I guess if you don't have a really good strength captain, I'd probably advise picking him up. He's a strong unit still. It's just, he's not particularly required for a lot of content. But as I said, very, very good unit. Komurasaki. Now, Komurasaki is kind of an interesting one because on Japan, Komurasaki looks to be the next scheduled Super Evolution character. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, because if this character is like a god tier unit, I'd probably say, yeah, pick her up, because 400 medals for Komurasaki, I do think that is a little bit excessive for the unit. However, we all know that Quick is one of the worst colors in the game, but Komurasaki provides some pretty good stuff. Komurasaki is a Quick and Int captain. She's a 4x captain. Quick and Int are beneficial to Quick and Int characters, recover every time you hit a perfect, at 20% damage reduction, and give you double berries. It's a really, really useful captain effect to have, and is very good for those 10-star difficulty Garp challenges, like if you don't have Shanks Crew, for example. Komurasaki is a pretty good option to run. She also has a really good special that randomizes your orbs into either Quick or Int, and of course, if you're running Quick or Int, they are going to be treated as beneficial. I really hope that with her Super Evolution, she makes she shuffles all orbs to Quick and Int, including block, and maybe make Quick and Int beneficial, so that like you're guaranteed to get those slots. Like that would be really, really nice. Or just like change all slots on Quick and Int characters into matching. That would be pretty good as well. And then if you're at full HP when you launch the special, you get a 2x attack and orb boost for 2 turns. If you're not at full HP, it's only for 1 turn instead. So it's a really powerful special, you know, full board of slots and 2x attack and orbs to her 2 colors that she's boosting. Really solid. As I said, if you are lacking a good quick captain, Komurasaki is definitely worth picking up. And then there's Chopper. Chopper, great utility, obviously cotton candy farming. If you don't have Chopper, I probably would say he's going to be worth picking up as well. I don't know how many people out there have 800 medals to spend for both Chopper and Law. I mean, remember, Law has been available this month, and he's going to be available next month. So at least I like that. You know, the rotation for these 400 medal characters is kind of nice. So you've got basically like 2 months to get this unit from the medal exchange. And if you don't get them, who knows when they're going to return. So I think if you haven't picked up Law yet, I still think he is the best choice in terms of clearing content. But if you really want Chopper for his cotton candy farming, it's nice. I do agree, it is nice. And he does have a pretty good utility special, of course, removing a bunch of different debuffs. So I think that is kind of worth it as well. So I'd say if you have some of those like tier 0 units like Roger, Kaido versus Big Mom, some of those really powerful captains that you basically don't really even need Law at this point, then probably Chopper would be the better choice out of the 400 medal tier. I think in terms of overall importance, it's hard to say though. I don't know who would I think is more important to pick up between Law and Chopper. I think either one of those two are the best choices. And then for Akainu and Komurasaki, like I'd say only pick them up if you're lacking like whatever they do. Either a really good strength X quick captain, you want a really good quick captain. Pick one of those up if you need to, but they're not overly required, that's for sure. Moving on to the 250 medal tier though, moving on to slightly older characters now. But I must say, Luffy and Law for 250 medals is a bargain. If you don't have Luffy Law, I would highly advise picking them up. If you're up against any quick enemy or what is it? Quick or not Dex, quick or strength. Quick or strength enemies in a Kizuna clash, Luffy Law are going to be a good unit for that, because obviously they can either be quick, they can be Dex, so they get that type advantage there. They're a 2.5 Rainbow Orb booster. They're a Luffy and a Law character, so you have insane supports. If you don't have them for 250 medals, it's a bargain. It's a steal. You need to get them if you don't have them. Obviously, they're not used as much these days compared to when they first came out. But despite that, they're still relatively used. And as I said, Kizuna clashes, they're going to see a lot of play still. And even outside of that, they're really good crewmates on a lot of different teams. And especially if you have the support Rare Recruit Sengoku character, makes Luffy Law even better than what they already are. I would highly advise picking him up for 250 medals. Absolute steal. Cracker, on the other hand, I don't think it's as much of a steal as Luffy Law, but 250 medals for Cracker is acceptable. Remember, he did get a Super Evolution on Japan literally last month, and it's a pretty good Super Evolution. He does damage with his special now, so you can have some pretty good support on him, and he is a higher color affinity booster as well, gets a buffed Captain effect. If you don't have Cracker, I think it's also a pretty worthwhile purchase. With his expansion, he goes down to a 13-turn cooldown, which for what he does is great. He's got a crewmate effect that can reduce his own cooldown every time another Slasher or Powerhouse unit uses a special. So I think is it Slasher or Powerhouse? I think it might just be Powerhouse. Let me have a look at Cracker. This guy right here. Slasher or Powerhouse character. Yeah, -1. Good Orb Manipulation as well. Forgot about the Orb Manipulation. Can't forget about that. And his really good support effect. That allows you to get rid of the 3 turns of chain coefficient reduction and chain lock, as well as providing a chain boost. Yeah, dude, Cracker for 250 I think is kind of worth it as well. That's ridiculous. Remember, you got an entire month to pick up these units too. And the last 2 units, you got Zephyr. Just ignore Zephyr. Absolutely trash. I mean, you never know. Maybe the movie Legends will get a 6+ at some point. That'd be dope. Tesoro, Shiki, and Zephyr all getting a Super Evolution would be actually really good. Especially if they make them, into like 2021 meta style units. Those units would be quite strong, actually. Then you got this Quick Gear 4, who is the Quick Gear 4 is actually the character that super evolves into Snake Man, who is still like pretty good. Like, this guy's still not terrible. Remember, it's a Luffy unit. You have good supports. He has really good orb boosting effects for multiple turns. He makes all your type slots beneficial if he's the captain. His captain effect is okay, right? 3.25, and when you use the special, you get a 4 times boost, and then 4.25 after 3 perfects in a row. Dex and Inner beneficial, -1 cooldown, so it's good for speed farming. Can hybrid up with a lot of characters because he's a rainbow captain. So there's lots to love about Snake Man. So I would say, yeah, maybe kind of worth it. I still think Luffy Law is kind of a bit better, because I think they're going to be better in more content these days compared to what the other Snake Man is now. But still, nonetheless, a pretty solid unit. So now we move on to the 150 medal tier. So these are like the ultra bargains, the really cheap ones. So we have Frankie. I don't think he's worth 150 medals. I mean, if you don't have him and you already have all the other units, I mean, 150 medals is fine. This Striker Law, I think for 150 medals, you probably don't need this guy either. His Super Evolution is a Cerebral unit and doesn't really see much play anymore. Not really good in PvP either. Frankie's actually pretty good in PvP though, I will admit. We got this Kuzan, who's okay in PvP as well, but in regular content, he's 6+. It's, again, a character that doesn't really see that much play. One thing to note about this Kuzan, though, is that Kuzan has, like, a couple of really decent supports. Like, I remember, like, Legend Garp, for example. I think he supports Aokiji, so that will allow you to get rid of Special Bind, which is kind of nice. And, there's a couple of Kainus that got some pretty decent supports, too. So, Kuzan is okay, but 150 medals, I mean, again, it's one of those situations where if you don't have him, pick him up. Not really a big deal if you miss it, though. You got Marco. Marco is a decent unit. 6+ is okay. Good healing, orb boost, a decent captain effect when he super evolves, actually. Again, just another, like, unit. Doesn't matter too much. Judge is, again, another one of those units. It really doesn't matter if you pick him up or not. I don't think you're really missing out on much if you don't pick him up. Has a Super Evolution, but his Super Evolution, again, is kind of meh. Nothing really too crazy there. Obviously, with his expansion, his captain effect, once super evolved, is actually pretty good. But outside of that, no one's really going to be, Limit Break expanding Judge anytime soon, I don't think. And then you've got Sabo, who, Sabo, again, is a really, really old school unit. I mean, he does get a expansion, which does make him a bit better. because his captain effect becomes a 4 times boost of free spirit. His special's still kind of meh though. 12 turns is okay, but 1.75 boost, and you need to hit 4 perfects to get a 2 times free spirit boost in the following turn, when you could just use like Goldie Roger. I think Goldie Roger's is kind of better. Obviously he doesn't have the same type of effect, but still, I just don't think this is a worthwhile unit to be running in 2021. So unfortunately, the 150 metal tier is a little bit of a letdown. Usually there's at least 1 or 2 units here that you can stand out and say, hey, that unit's kind of good for Pirate Rumble, we should probably pick them up. None of these units here are super standout. I think the best one here in terms of Pirate Rumble is going to be Frankie. Cruzan does see some play, and in regular play, like in regular content, I mean, not too many of these units seem that much play anymore, unfortunately. So I guess the only ones that I think are like worthwhile picking up are going to be like Chopper, V3 Law, Luffy Law still, Cracker is still pretty good, and I guess if you don't have him, this Luffy is okay as well. But again, it does come down to like, if you have like all of these units except for Zephyr, you know, I did say Zephyr was bad, but if he's the only one you're missing, then yeah, pick him up, of course, that's a no-brainer. But I do think the best ones here easily: Chopper, Trafalgar Law for sure, Luffy Law I think is a bargain, Crack is a really good deal. Those 4 characters in particular are probably the ones that I would advise you guys to pick up. And I do like Komurasaki, and I'm really excited to see what her Super Evolution is going to be this month on Japan. And I really hope that she's extremely powerful. And of course, once we do get the information of her Super Evolution, I'll be making a video about it, of course, because she's one of the most underrated legends in the game, and definitely one of the most fun units to use from my experience. I absolutely love using Komurasaki. She's a really good unit, so I'm super looking forward to her Super Evolution. And then, you know, Sakazuki, he's okay. He's good in the PvP as well, but Law is definitely the best unit here in terms of PvP. That's for sure. He's definitely the best unit here, yeah, 100%. But that's the rundown of the metal shop. It's not really an exciting metal shop this month, unfortunately. I think last month's was definitely more exciting. I think Corazon was in the shop last month. I can't remember exactly, but I remember the 150 metal tier was definitely a lot better. But that's going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.